guys, Rob and George here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with episode 21 of my Crazy Fives. This one inspired by my recent Italy's Holocaust, what I'm calling now the years before and after, that is 79 to 94. And that review in question, of course, was Profondo Rosso by Dario Argento. It's a 1975 film. And got me to think about Argento in a way that I have not thought about Argento in quite a while, in terms of even my favorite aspects of his filmography and what would be the films that I would hold closest to me if I could only have a small handful of them. What would they be? Kind of stuff running in my head. And I thought, you know what? This would make a good Crazy Fives. Let's do it. So, although I'm kind of a week out or whatever, I just thought, it's fresh in my mind, it's there, let's just go ahead and roll with it and then drop it for the appropriate time. So Crazy Fives, episode 21, I'm calling, Dario, what has become of thou, oh Dario? Well, I'll tell you what's become of him, at least of recent. Dark Glasses from 22, which is surprisingly still on Shudder, if you have access to Shudder, or perhaps did get a physical media release. I can't remember who put it out. Maybe Shudder actually licensed the distribution of that. But Dario's still working. Just recently put something out. I did look in his filmography on IMDb to see if there was anything in production or anything there, and there is nothing. So I'm not sure what lies ahead for Dario, if anything. But I can tell you, he has had an illustrious past, one that is going to be seen here in the short confines of my Crazy Fives, and that one film, Outside Looking In, which you see up there already. So as my Outside Looking In, from 1985, first released by, now you'll have to, I'm going to give you not just the VHS, or the company that first put it on VHS, but I'm also going to give you the rating, because the ratings are over the cross of this Crazy Fives are interesting, as well as the companies who, I don't even know if there is I'm just looking at my list right now. There's not one repeat. Every film I'm about to go through has a different company releasing it on VHS in its initial VHS release. That's interesting. Anyways, 1985, first released by Video Treasures, rated R for the VHS release. It is, of course, phenomenal, right? And this is my very beautiful Arrow release of this. Of course, pull out this little book thing. The inside. What a fantastic, absolutely fantastic release. I knew this movie as a kid renting it on VHS. I knew it as Creepers. That's how it was released here in the United States. And I know that's sort of the cut up, beat up version, but it still was part of the gateway of just unleashing the senses in terms of taking in everything that is Italian in the early formative years of my teenage, mid to late teenage years. It was movies like this, although I knew it as Creepers, not as Phenomena. And this movie, man, this movie's got some crazy, crazy stuff going on. That the heavy metal interline with the score, Donald Pleasance is in this thing, and just the whole mystery of this murder, and our main protagonist, as she, who has a psychic ability to communicating with insects, and how all that overlays and plays in a part. The special effects, how they were able to do some of the stuff with this is quite intriguing and amazing. And just the whole mystery that unfolds in this film is quite... is this the one? I think this is the one where you get Iron Maiden's Flash of the Blade in one of her sleepwalking moments, as she draws closer and closer to figuring out who this killer is. Sort of a fantastical, fantasy-like murder. It's a fun ride, man. But this used to be at the really top of my heap. Now, remember, as far as my Crazy Fives go, I don't order this in any way but chronological by release. But this particular time at the end, I may just go ahead and give you a quick my ordering as it is at the moment. But for now, it's just chronological. So for my outside looking in, it's 1985. Let's start. Number 5. First released by Southgate in its unrated condition for VHS. 1987. This is the blue release, of course. Opera, one of my favorite, all-time favorite Dario films. And of course, 87. This is pretty much, it's considered by some to be the last great moment for Dario, although he will still put out some pretty good films after this. But I don't know if those films quite have the Argento mystique as this one still continues to have. And also, too, some nice heavy metal overlay on the kill contrast against the operatic moments in the film. Just an absolute, I consider this one of the greatest slashers of all time. And there are some minor giallic sort of things interlaid, but really it is a slasher, man. And it's a ferocious one at that. We love opera. So from 87, let's jump all the way down. Well, not too far down. First released by Fox Hills, rated R for VHS. Number 4 on my Crazy Fives. This has got one of the all-time great scores ever. And you gotta love John Saxon in this. Of course, we're talking about Tenebrae, right? Or as it was released on VHS when I saw it, it was Unsane. Almost positive it was. But just an amazing release by Arrow. Again, it's Yali and a late one at that. Not for 1982. It's got a lot of great stuff in here, though. Again, Goblin. Just some good stuff, man. John Saxon, though, makes it a lot of fun, too. Some insane kills in this movie. Absolutely insane. Number 4, Tenebrae. Number 3, first released on the VHS by Magnum in its unrated format. Now, you sort of have an idea where we're headed just because we're working chronological, but from 1977, oh, man, you haven't seen this until you've seen it on 4K, man. Oh, Suspira. This was probably one of the early moments. You see the back here. One of the early moments. This is, of course, Snaps released this beautiful edition. Watching this on Letterboxd version VHS on my 25-inch console TV in the middle of the night, lying on the floor in the living room in the darkness. That scene when you see the one girl running through the woods to the Goblin score is just, it got me one of the most chilling moments in cinematic history. Some of these kills are so insane, done in such an artistic way. You can't compare anyone to Dario Argento. 77, he is literally at the top of his game. And he's still got a great ways as he's coming down off that. But Suspira may actually be that. It might be the very tip of Mount Everest for him, possibly. Possibly. Number 2 on our Crazy Fives. First released on VHS by HBO Video in its rated R format. Of course, the movie I already spoke to earlier, the one I just reviewed for my Italy's Holocaust, the years before and after. Deep Red or Profondo Rosso. 75, one of the great giallis, maybe the greatest gialli of all time, perhaps, maybe. Look, if you really want some of my deep thoughts on this, check out my Italy's Holocaust review of this. It's still fresh. It would have been a week ago from today. Yeah, today, a week ago. Anyways, another beautiful release by Arrow. And just the score. The first collaboration of Dario and Goblin. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. And number one, this was first released by, who is that? Republic Home Video in its PG format. PG now. Yes, I said PG. 1970. Dario just furiously comes onto the stage. Of course, you know, he'll get the nickname the Italian Hitchcock for good reason. I'm still running with the old Blue Underground. I know this has gotten a really great release post Blue Underground. But this was actually my very first Blue Underground purchase. I've had this movie for years, I say, years. Double disc. Inside, it's just kind of red and actually, yeah, but anyways, absolutely beautiful job. I want to say I was in a Best Buy maybe when I was living back in Western New York. We were there for something, and I just happened to be going through the movie section, and I saw this. And you know, 1970 is my birth year, and that was my excuse for picking it up that day, was to have a Dario movie that came out in my birth year. It would be the very first of, I don't know, I'm in the 20s now of how many, at least DVDs, how many Blue Underground DVDs I have. Kind of have a sort of a small growing collection of Blue Underground. But this is the first one to go into my collection. And this is easily at the top of the heap of one of my favorite Argento movies of all time. You know, the guy gets stuck in between the glass. He watches an attempted murder. Can't piece everything together. It's not sure what he's seen. He thinks he's seen something. And of course, it drives across the entirety of the film until the closing moments when everything sort of falls into place and the killer is revealed. And to great effect, I might add. One of my favorite moments in this movie has to be when he visits that old guy who has all the cats living in his house, the painter, I think he is. Yeah, the painter. He's got to climb up the ladder to get into the entrance of his house. It's so awesome. But his character is a lot different and driven by curiosity or a sense being impelled by the need to figure this thing out. Different than David Hemmings' character, Marcus, in Profondo Rosso, but done to great effect. Equally, but just slightly, just different. It's interesting. Anyways, Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Absolutely. Now, I said I would, right? So let me see here. Okay. Boom. Okay, let's see here. Let me just reorder these real quick and... I've been thinking about this. And if I were to order these, how would I order them? Obviously, it's 6 down because we have our outside looking in. And so I'm going to go through these real quick, but I'm going to do so in the order. If I were put up against the wall and forced to order these in, the big surprise will be the first one, because this used to be up at the very top of the heap, and that has since changed. I still love it, don't get me wrong. And this is the essential 6, I think. There's only a couple I would add on this 6th. This is the essential 6. If I only could have these 6 Dario movies, these are the 6 I'd have, without a doubt. And so number 6, boy, this has changed so much. I still love it though. Phenomena at number 6, which was my outside looking in anyways. At number 5 would be Tenebrae. Now, I love this movie. This movie probably should be a little higher than it is, but I don't know. At number 4, this is a big change too, because this used to be way at the top of the heap. Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And when I put these in order, I'm like, they are so overlappingly, so compact, close together. I mean, is there really anything separating them? Not really much. Number 3, God, this is one of the greatest slashes ever. Opera. So the top 3 here: Opera, Deep Red. But this has jumped of late. This has jumped, and a lot of it has to do with my few viewings of it for my Italy's Holocaust review. This movie really has jumped, and I'm sure some of you out there are going, "It's about time," because this one is on the top of a lot of people's lists, and of course, you know, for so many reasons. Number one, Suspira. I think, you know, partly, but not all of it, is nostalgia works in here. I mean, you know, my memories of, again, just laying on the floor in the darkness of a living room, watching it on Letterboxd format on VHS. Somehow, even without surround sound and 4K and all that junk, somehow it still literally blew my mind to pieces when I first saw this movie. And this was one of those movies where every few trips to the movie or to the video store, it was in the heap of 4 or 5 movies that I was renting or whatever. If I was fortunate enough to rent that many at once, this found its way in there several times. Repeat viewing or repeat rentals. But anyways, the score on this Goblin, I don't know if Goblin is at their best, man. And just the way he works camera, the way he captures things. All right, I think Dario's at his best right here. Absolute best. So anyways, so there you go. A little added feature bonus, an actual ordering against the chronological ordering that I like to do. I just don't like to put a lot of thought into would I order things. But this one's a little different, a little bit different. And so there you go. And I'm thinking, at least in the moment, I'm thinking about my next one, maybe taking a quick slice of Fulci. Maybe I might. We'll see. If you think that's a good idea, drop down below and tell me. Anyways, it's a great time of the year. It is after Halloween, but now Thanksgiving having passed, we got Christmas coming, and it's just busy. So hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you for having subscribed, and if you haven't, please do. Stay a while, check things out. There's so much deep down in the archive, as they say. And of course, my long-running now X-Files reviews. We just did season 2, episode 1. So we're into season 2 now. The entire season 1 is behind us, and we're in season 2. And the entire Space 1999, yeah. Wow, Space 1999, the entire 2-year run of it in there in a playlist as well. And then just so much other stuff down there. Anyways, enjoy the holidays. Enjoy football, man. My dogs, man. We're headed to, I hope, a 3rd title in a row, which would be historically great. And my Bills got a big game today against Philly, and it's on TV, I think, at 4. So I got to get some things done before that happens, so I can actually sit down and watch it for once, because down here in Georgia, the Bills rarely ever on TV. So anyways, but that's my problem, not yours. As always, man, we end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We might be useful to you.